Alright, gonna do a quick update here on kind of where we're at with the extension onto the sawmill building here. So notice a couple things have changed. So went ahead and painted our header here. Got that put on or put up and then painted it while everything's open. And then we got one rafter up. So I didn't film kind of getting that since it was a lot of back and forth. Just kind of getting everything figured out as far as what all we need to cut and how we need to cut it. So we did a 412 on that, so we knew like on our end out here what that needed to be there. So we got that, got our bird's mouth figured out on this side and how that needs to sit. So got it taken care of. We started with a 2-foot overhang, shortened that up a little bit so that some of the water would end up more in our ditch here. The 2-foot was going to put it out probably just outside, so trying to keep some of that water in a little bit. So made that change as we're going, and then getting everything figured out up here. So just a couple things to note. So get in here so you're not looking at the sun, but basically just lapped this joist here and made a notch on the bird's mouth up there, and then we just have to make sure we're up above that top piece of siding whenever we're going through, so that it's above that and sitting up. And then right now we've screwed that temporarily, but we'll come back through with either lags or carriage bolts and actually bolt that together. So we're going to do that for the rest of these. Kind of start in the middle because we got to come in at a little bit of an angle to then get in under that piece of top siding and then kind of come up. So we could custom cut each of these, but we're trying to avoid that as much as possible, and you know, just kind of make them all the same and then start putting them up. So we'll go outside on those, and then like this one went on this side, but then we'll have to come on this side from those over there, obviously, to go inside here. So anyway, we're working through it, getting these put up slowly. So after this we'll be able to start putting our purlins up. I think we have most of what we need for those. We may have to cut a few more 2x4s for the purlins, and then we'll have to work on building our overhang whenever we do those purlins, so that it matches up with the existing roof. So slowly working on that, and won't be too long and we'll have a roof up and everything. So on the inside we got, you know, whatever that is, probably about 8 foot here. Down here we're closer to only having about 6. I can just walk under this here and not hit my head. So on the inside, pretty good, gives us lots of room. So initially the thought was to bring wood in kind of from this direction. When we've looked at it and everything, we've kind of made it so you can bring wood in from that end, and either with the tractor, because it will fit under here, the small tractor, you can bring stuff in and then stack it here, go up, and then work our way out. Either way, there's no perfect solution, because inevitably, you know, as you cut things, the newest stuff is going to be on that end, and since we don't have the ability to you know, get to it from both ends, we'll have to pull some stuff out to get to it. Just kind of the nature of how this is set up right now. Whenever we build similar things at the 100 acres, we'll make it so you can get in from both sides, so that like basically you could load from this side and load from the other side, so that as you you know, put wood in, you can then access it from either direction and everything. But we'll give ourselves about 13 feet here, so a 12-foot board should fit in here. Anything longer will obviously stick out, or we'll have to figure out another direction, but this will get most of the stuff that we cut. Any specialty stuff, obviously we'll have exceptions, but for most stuff that we're kind of doing moving forward, we're looking at 12 foot as kind of just a normal cut. It's a good size to handle. It's nice to put on the mill and work with. So that's kind of what we're working toward as far as standard milling is around that size, again, unless we have a project where we need something longer. Most things, you're using small 3 to 4 foot sections of it anyway. So, if you have about a 4 foot or 5 foot section, you can get 2 pieces out of a 12-foot board. So that's kind of what we're working toward, and then obviously have the little bit to square everything up. So anyway, adds lots of space to where we can start to store some stuff. We have lots of logs over here to mill up, but we've kind of been holding off until we really have a spot to put them. So so those are red oak, those are hickory, some more hickory over there, a piece of walnut mixed in there. So I have lots of stuff that needs to be milled up and will make really nice wood. We just wanted a place to store it. So once we get this all built, we'll be able to start milling that stuff up and have a nice place here that we can store it. Having it mostly open on all sides will introduce a lot of airflow. So we'll do that so that we can start drying wood a little bit more efficiently. And right now we've been putting it in the back of that carport. So one, it takes up quite a bit of room back there, but then also there's not a whole lot of airflow, obviously, since it's enclosed. So while stuff is drying in there, I think it's taking longer than obviously if you had it in a more open air environment. So we'll keep working on this and have it under cover pretty soon. Okay, and then that's the only other thing I want to show you right now until we start again is got all of the 3x4s picked out that we're going to use. Got those sealed the other day, so they've had a chance to dry. So again, trying to do some of this stuff beforehand when it's down on the ground where it's easy to roll on some sealer instead of trying to do stuff over your head. So we're just trying to make it match the current building as much as possible. So we'll have a little bit on the 2x4s and stuff where we'll have to paint some of those and everything, but it won't be near as bad as having to do everything like we did before. So we're back at it here, working on getting the Rafters put up. So kind of cutting them and then putting them up as we go, just because we don't have that much workspace working off of the sawhorses. Basically just getting them put up, putting a couple screws up top, and then putting some screws down at the bottom just to hold everything in place. Like I said, we'll go back through with probably some carriage bolts and kind of get everything put up a little bit more securely, but to begin with, just doing it that way, just kind of get these up. And then we started using some clamps on these just because we need to get everything tight together up against the existing purling, and then also just getting it sucked up closer to that existing rafter that's there. So go ahead and do that as well. So you'll kind of see that on the last one we put up here. I do a little bit more up close video, but also kind of show you getting this stuff cut as well. So I can show we have these here, so go ahead and get the end cut. So do a 412 with a common there. So get out the big circular saw to get that cut in one cut, since a normal one won't go 3 inches. So then from there we come out 18 and 25.5. That is the bird's mouth that will sit on the header. So you mark a 412 there, and then just draw a straight line from there out to the 25.5. And then he has that saw set up for the degree to do one cut there. We're going about 2 inches deep. you can do one cut with that, get that a nice cut there at about your, I believe it's 18 or 19 degrees. And then use the big circular saw again to get most of that cut out. So get most of that cut out from both directions here. That leaves just a small little spot you gotta use the Sawzall kind of clean up. So the board will come out, but you have just one little spot there that, since your bird's mouth is going to be sitting on that, I need to make that clean. So get rotated back. So on this one we measure out 181 inches. So on that one you just go up 2.5 inches for how we have it marked, and then that'll just go out to the end of the board. That cut is for the siding that is up top, so I need to make a little notch for that so that will fit up in the existing spot we have. So get that cut. So again, does cut on the top. This is 2.5 inches deep. So does that, and then comes back with the big circular saw to just cut that out. So you don't have anything that's actually sitting on this one, so once he makes that cut, there's a little bit there that, you know, doesn't get removed. It's not as big a deal. If you have a big spot, you know, you may want to clean it up, but overall it's not as important. So that's basically how we cut all these, and then get these carried out and get this last one put up. So you can see everything's sped up just a little bit here to kind of help move that along. But we'll get that last one put up, and then I switch to showing you from the roof point of view. Okay, so Dad's getting some screws put in at the bottom. So basically run one up from the back and kind of hold it all up in place, and then just running them down from the top to you know, hold that up. So I'm just making sure that the bird's mouth is, yeah, all the way up against. So get that one on to help hold it up against the purling, and then put one or two, depending on kind of what's needed, holding it up against the existing rafter that's up there. So most of these, with the red oak, you do have to pre-drill most of this stuff, so then putting 3 to 4 screws in it. But if you just run a screw in, a lot of times it ends up breaking before you get it all the way in. So just get those pilot holes in, using some 4-inch screws initially here, and like I said, we'll go back through and you know, actually get some bolts in, but this holds them up there for the time being until we can get those drilled out. Just run these screws in. So we're a pretty big fan of the impacts. Don't twist your hand quite like the drills do when running screws. Seem to run a little bit better in most cases. This is a surge model, so it's like a hydraulic, so it's a little bit quieter, mainly used for like putting up metal sheets, because it doesn't vibrate it quite as much, but it's just much quieter and a little bit nicer to operate. But they don't have quite as much power as the other ones, so just a little bit of a trade-off there on those. But once you get all these put in, he's already done at the bottom, so I can take these clamps off and we'll have all the rafters up. So here we have all those up. Okay, so next is going to be purlins, getting the 2x4s up. It's going to hold the metal. So have the overhang to do. So we'll attach the 2x4 sticking up like we did there, and come down with those, and work on getting those attached next. So that'll be kind of the next step. And we'll also, so right now we're just putting screws to hold these. We'll put lags or carriage bolts in there to really get those held together, since that's the main thing holding the weight on this side right now. And then just put 2 screws in the top and then 1 there to hold everything up against. So that's completion for day 4. Day 5 will be getting the purlins put up and probably getting some metal up. So thank you for watching. Hit that thumbs up button, subscribe, and we'll catch you next time.